brown-skinned spicy girl, or do you want the light-skinned spicy girl? Which one do you want?
According to rumors, producers almost had to shoot the scenes they were in together separately. That's how much they didn't get along on set. Now, the rumor is that it's because...
Welcome back to your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Let's spill the tea on today's biggest celebrity stories. Did Nia Long really try to get Taraji P. Henson fired? Yep, that rumor's been flying for years, and now it's sounding way less like gossip and way more like the real deal. Word is, Nia didn't just want a role on Empire, she wanted the role, Cookie Lion, Taraji's crown, and she was gunning for it hard. But let's be real, there could only be one Cookie Lion, and Taraji already had that on lock. Period. Still, the beef between these two ran so deep that folks on set said it nearly turned physical. Taraji was apparently so fed up she was ready to square up. Another actor had to literally step in before it got ugly. Behind the scenes, total chaos. And guess what started all this madness? Jealousy. Taraji didn't hold back. She made it clear. Nia wanted what she had and wasn't afraid to shake the table to get it. Taraji spilled it all like she wanted to be Cookie. Like straight up, it got so nasty between them that producers had to figure out ways to film their scenes separately. That's right, they couldn't even fake it for the cameras. Cold shoulders, no eye contact, not a word exchanged on set. Nia had a recurring role in season 3 playing Lucius Lyon's ex. But Cookie, the real Cookie, Taraji, wasn't having it, on screen or off. And now, it's clear that the behind-the-scenes beef was way spicier than anything that aired. Nia Long and Taraji P. Henson's real-life beef, way messier than anyone thought. Word on set was it was almost impossible to film their scenes together. The tension was so thick, producers had to figure out ways to shoot around them, literally blocking scenes so they wouldn't even have to share the same frame. That's how bad it got. But hold on, it didn't stop there. Nia wasn't just throwing shade. She was allegedly plotting behind the scenes, trying to get Taraji kicked off the show. Sources say she was working angles to make herself the new face of Empire, starting with season 4. Yeah, she wanted Cookie gone. The streets say Nia was pitching ideas to writers and producers, trying to shift the story to make her character the main one. Let's be real.
And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I think it's an important message for people to hear because we see the lights, camera, action.
And then they tell me we don't translate overseas.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing that my entire career, 20 plus years in the game, and I hear the same thing, and I see what you do for another production, and when it's time for us to go to bed, you don't have any money. They play in your face.
Empire without Cookie Lion, that show would have crumbled. But Taraji got wind of the sneaky moves, and she was not about to let that slide. Once she found out what Nia was allegedly up to, the vibe on set flipped, fast. And honestly, should we even be shocked? Nia's name been floating around Hollywood for years with whispers about her being difficult on set. But it was one specific moment that really lit the fire. Nia showed up late one day, and Taraji, who don't play when it comes to professionalism, called her out in front of everybody. She looked at Nia and said, "Are you on your period or something?" Boom. That one comment sent Nia off. Things exploded from there. And after that, there was no coming back. She snapped. All that jealousy Nia had been keeping bottled up, it finally came bursting out. And baby, it wasn't pretty. Next thing you know, the vibe on set turned explosive. Nia and Taraji were this close to throwing hands, and it took a full-on intervention from cast and crew to keep it from turning into an all-out brawl. And honestly, folks on set were probably low-key rooting for Taraji to land that first hit, because the word is, most of them couldn't stand working with Nia anyway. But it wasn't just tension with cast. The hair and makeup team had their own war with her, and theirs. It got official. Yup, reports say the Glam Squad filed a formal complaint against Nia for her nasty attitude. And here's the kicker. In the entire run of Empire, this was the only complaint ever filed. That speaks volumes. Sources told TMZ that Nia came in late like it was nothing, talked wild to people behind the scenes, and would throw tantrums over her look. She'd sit in the chair, then switch up last minute, saying she didn't like the style. Instead of calmly asking for changes, she'd go off on the stylists. That kind of energy? Nobody was feeling it, especially not in a tight production like Empire, where time is money and egos don't run the set. The work does. One insider spilled the tea loud and clear. They've had everyone on that set, From hip-hop legends to Hollywood icons like Demi Moore, and nobody caused chaos like Nia Long. That says everything you need to know. But if you think the drama ended there, think again. Because Nia's level of pettiness, it hit elite status. Let's talk about how she wrapped up her final scene on Empire. Now, there's a long-standing tradition on sets. When an actor films their last scene, the assistant director announces, "That's a wrap on actor's name."
Cookie, I'm running a little behind, darling.
That's all good. You just need to tell whoever that is they got to bounce. I'm sorry, tell me what? Tell you that you got to get out of that chair because it's time for my appointment.
Oh, well, we'll be done shortly.
Oh.
Give me 1 second, please, madam. I'm sorry.
Everyone claps. It's a respectful farewell. But when Nia finished her last shot, silence. Straight up crickets. No announcement, no clap, no flowers, nothing. Just awkward energy. And here's where it gets even messier. Sources claim Terrence Howard just so happened to suffer an allergic reaction at that exact moment. And guess what? The assistant director was suddenly too busy searching for Benadryl to say anything about Nia's exit. If that's not the most girl-bye energy ever, that was shade served ice cold. Now here's the kicker. Some insiders say it wasn't even a coincidence. The director might have planned it that way because folks were over Nia's whole vibe. They said she was stirring up problems, pushing buttons, and draining the energy on set. At that point, the team was done. And instead of bowing out gracefully, Nia allegedly made one last move. She threatened to sue over the lack of a send-off. Yep, she tried to flip the script and make herself the victim. Classic. Like, girl, where's the gratitude for even being part of the show? Nia can deny the drama all she wants, but people been whispering for years that she's had a serious chip on her shoulder when it comes to Taraji P. Henson. And it's not just some random rumor. The tension's been brewing for a long time. See, both Nia and Taraji are seasoned in the game, but Nia always saw herself as the top-tier one. Let's be honest, she did get her start way before Taraji even hit the mainstream. In her mind, she was the veteran, the star, the blueprint. But here's the plot twist. While Nia starred in a few classics, she never really landed that one breakout role that pushed her to the next level. Meanwhile, Taraji came up fast, and she blew past her. From Oscar buzz to box office hits, then boom, Empire. A whole show built around her character, Cookie Lyon. That role became a cultural reset. And for someone like Nia, watching all that shine probably felt like salt in the wound. And it gets deeper. Nia's got a whole pattern when it comes to missing out on roles. She talks about it, loudly, every time. If she don't get picked, she's gonna speak on it. One major example? Avatar. Nia once questioned why she wasn't even considered for Zoe Saldana's role in that billion-dollar blockbuster. She claimed she wasn't throwing shade, but listen to how she said it, like, "I just want to understand how these things work. Why wasn't I in the room? Why didn't I get a call?" That energy ain't subtle at all. Nia even admitted it herself. She's felt passed over more than once. She said, "There have definitely been moments where I've wondered, why wasn't I considered for that? Like, why not Avatar? I think Zoe's amazing, but I wasn't even part of the conversation." But let's be real for a second. What in Nia Long's film resume made her believe Avatar was even in her lane? Respectfully, Zoe Saldana has owned the sci-fi and action genre for years. From Guardians of the Galaxy to Star Trek, she's built for those epic roles. Meanwhile, Nia's known for romance flicks and emotional dramas. Two different lanes, two different vibes. It's like every time Nia doesn't land a major part, she starts raising eyebrows, acting like she was owed a seat at the table. And this ain't the first time she's tried to manifest her way into a movie. She once said she wanted to do another romantic comedy with Eddie Murphy after they did You People. Like, sis, maybe let the roles come to you instead of forcing your way into rooms that weren't even calling your name. But if you think that was just ambition, nah, it starts giving jealous energy real quick, especially when you look at her history with Terrence Howard. Let's not forget, Nia worked with Terrence way before Empire was even a thought. Remember the Best Man franchise? That classic chemistry between them was already there. They even reunited again in life in a year. So when Empire hit the scene and Taraji stepped in as Cookie Lyon, the unforgettable firecracker ex-wife to Lucius Lyon played by Terrence, it hit different. Taraji and Terrence? That chemistry was undeniable. You could feel it through the screen. So imagine Nia, sitting on the sidelines, watching that dynamic take over pop culture. Yeah, it's not hard to see how that might have stung. Taraji and Terrence, they were like work husband and wife, both on and off screen. Their energy was that strong. Now picture Nia watching all this unfold. She had worked with Terrence Howard for years. She used to be the one next to him, the one getting that spotlight. But the moment Taraji stepped into the frame, boom, she's the star, the fan favorite, the one everyone's talking about. Yeah, that's giving bitter. That's giving pressed. That's giving, it should have been me. And honestly, that could explain why Nia was acting so reckless on set, making everyone want her gone. And when it comes to being difficult to work with, Taraji's definitely not the first one to raise an eyebrow at Nia. Even director Malcolm D. Lee kept it real during a Breakfast Club interview. When asked who gave him the most trouble on set, guess who came up? Nia Long. His exact words, Nia can be a bit of a challenge. Then he added that she didn't even want to be filmed at first. Like, when a director is calling you out publicly as a challenge to work with, that's not a good look. That's a red flag waving on a megaphone. But hold up, it gets messier. Taye Diggs had his own wild experience with her too. Back when they were filming The Best Man, there was a scene where Nia was supposed to lightly slap him for the cameras. Supposed to. But according to Taye, she didn't hold back at all. He said she straight up smacked him, no warning, no acting, just full contact. Now if that's how she was moving on set, it's no wonder folks were counting down the days till she rapped. Taye Diggs was shook. He swore that slap from Nia wasn't acting. He said she meant it. According to him, she put way too much heat into it, like she was letting out some real-life frustration, not just playing a role. So now the question is, was she in character, or was she taking a personal shot? Because if that was on purpose, that's just flat out unprofessional. No way around it. And if you thought Nia only had beef with one or two folks in Hollywood, think again. Let's not forget her long-running tension with Jada Pinkett Smith. Yup, Nia and Jada have been in the industry forever, but they never really clicked. Behind the scenes, it's been shade, side eyes, and straight up avoidance. No collaborations, no support, just silence and distance. At this point, it's giving pattern, because every time Nia's around another successful black actress, something pops off. First it was Jada, then Taraji, and the moment Nia stepped on the Empire set, boom, more drama. Now here's where it gets extra messy. The fact that Nia even came for Taraji, total hypocrisy. See, Taraji has never been quiet about the struggles black women face in Hollywood. How they get underpaid, overlooked, and constantly disrespected. She's used her platform to speak up, to open doors for others. And guess who actually came to her defense back when she was calling out those industry pay gaps? Jada Pinkett Smith. That's right, Jada backed Taraji publicly, showing love and support, while Taraji was putting Hollywood on blast. So the question is, why would Nia come for a woman who's been fighting for all of them? That's where the shade turns into straight contradiction. So for Nia to turn around and do this to another black woman, yeah, that's giving major snake in the grass energy. And trust, people are starting to see through it, quick. Because the truth is, Taraji's frustration wasn't even personal at first. It wasn't just about Nia. It was about everything Taraji's been pushing back on for years. The disrespect, the pay gap, the uphill battle for recognition in an industry that constantly sidelines black women. And then here comes Nia, turning around and doing exactly what Taraji's been speaking out against, to another black woman who's been grinding just like her. And let's not act brand new. Nia's name stays in mess. Most recently, she allegedly had a confrontation with Sherri Shepherd. Yup, all because Nia thought Sherri was shading her. Stirring the pot again? Looks like that's her specialty. Now listen, one person calling you difficult? Sure, maybe it's just a bad day. Two people? Okay. Maybe a little bad blood here and there. But when directors, actors, stylists, and crew members are all saying the same thing, that's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. And the common denominator? Nia Long. She's been at the center of too many of these stories. And at some point the question becomes, is everyone lying? Or is there something to all this? But the craziest part? Nia hasn't said a word. No statement. No interview. No, y'all got it wrong. Nothing. She's just letting the fire burn and the mess marinate. And honestly, that silence is loud. Because if it wasn't true, wouldn't she have shut it down by now? Instead of clearing the air, Nia's still out here moving like she's untouchable, stirring the pot like none of these claims matter. And if the Taraji situation felt too hot to speak on, fine. But she could have at least addressed the drama with Sherri Shepherd. Because let's be real, if Hollywood keeps labeling you the mean girl, wouldn't you want to set the record straight? But nope, just silence from Miss Nia Long. And the longer she stays quiet, the worse it looks. Because every day she doesn't speak up, people are left to assume the worst. So now the real question is Nia Long really the victim in all this? Or are we finally seeing the side of her that folks in the industry been whispering about for years? Is Taraji just the latest one brave enough to speak on it? Or is she just another name on a growing list of people who've had enough? Because if Nia truly thinks she's being unfairly painted as the villain, where's the response? Where's the clapback? Where's anything to clear her name? Instead, all we've got is silence and a whole lot of smoke. And we all know what they say. If there's this much smoke, there's gotta be fire somewhere. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tea. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.